Hey everybody, we're here, YouTube land. It's the show that has yet to be named. I almost forgot the name there. I'm here with Johnny Donuts, 777, not with the word, 3 sevens. His stuff will be in the comment section or actually in the bio section below. We're going over the Snyder Cut. This is the spoiler review. So if you don't want spoilers, go back to the other one. So yeah, we're just going to jump right into this. I'll let you take it away.
Okay. For me, I spoiler review. I liked where they headed with this film. I like Cyborg's character. I like the Flash. They did cut. They did put it in a different order, I think, from what I understood as well. The order was different. There were some extra scenes. That final battle at the end with Steppenwolf, that was changed a little bit, and I thought that was a much better scene. And when Wonder Woman just beheaded him, and then you see like Darkseid just stomp his foot on his head and just like crush it, I was like, okay, that's the way you end Steppenwolf. I didn't like the way in the Whedon cut. It was they kind of punked him out a bit.
Yeah. My biggest thing here is I think overall as a movie, I had a good experience, but like from as a movie critic of sorts, there's so much wrong with this. Like there's even more wrong with this than there was with the Whedon cut.
It felt like a patchwork film. Sorry to interrupt, but it felt like it was So he took stuff from Whedon and he took stuff from himself, and he kind of just like, there it is.
Which is my thought process when I said in the other review that I don't feel like any of this was actually filmed. Because if you see his pictures of him showing the film reels of the director's cut, it's an hour and a half shorter than what this movie is. So he got an hour and a half of film from somewhere. And allegedly, they gave him $70 million to film it. And he spent most of it on reshoots and then had not enough money left over to do the rest of it. That's why some of the CGI is so bad.
Yeah, it's like it's going back to that final battle scene. You do notice it a little bit more with that final battle. I do find what they did in the Russian scene, the removal of the Russian family, that was kind of pointless in the Whedon cut. I know it was supposed to humanize the situation. I didn't like that, and I'm glad they got rid of that. And I also like the fact that they got rid of that red background, and they made it blue, like that dark blue. So now the colors actually pop. Like when there's explosions and stuff, the colors.
The fact that it looked like night also helped cover up a lot of the things, and it gave it more of a realistic feel. Where I'm surprised because knowing Zack Snyder, I expected it to be like a huge bright blue color that everything stands out on, because there's like a few examples, we'll get into it in a bit, but even the Russian family thing for me, okay?
Right.
Even that doesn't even work in a Marvel movie. Like a lot of people are like, I hate the people that compare the two because you can't. Even comic book wise, they're very different in tone and everything. But
it was much darker.
Yeah,
much darker.
Just because Joss Whedon worked on Marvel doesn't make what he did in that movie a Marvel thing. Marvel would not even have allowed that family situation to happen. It's just, I don't know. What was the best thing for you of this whole movie?
The best thing for me, I would say, would be the fleshing out of other characters. They really made you empathize with Cyborg's character. I found that was probably the best thing. More Wonder Woman is always a good thing because Gal Gadot, nothing wrong with that. She's a great actress for Wonder Woman, and it was great on that front. The fact that they fleshed out Ezra Miller's Flash a little bit more kind of set you up for that Flashpoint. Because I think that's where they're heading next, is the Flashpoint series.
Yeah.
So I think they did a really good. So the fact that they were actually able to expand on the characters and tell a longer story, and the fact that it was divided up into multiple parts. So there were chapters, and each chapter, like I said in the previous one, each chapter was set up as it was almost like reading a comic book. The only thing I kind of didn't like was the fact of the 4x3. And I get why he did that, but it's a little jarring at first because you're so...
Sorry, go. Yeah, you finish.
No, because you're so used to watching everything in anamorphic widescreen now. So when you see something in 4x3 again, it's like it's jarring. It was it took me an hour before I got used to it.
I agree, and I went back. I think I said this to you because I was falling asleep the first time I watched it.
Yeah,
almost the whole final hour I was like in and out. So I went back to rewatch it, and even after having seen it, it took me another almost till the end of the movie before I was okay with it being 4-3, and it doesn't. First of all, I just want to point out the immediate pretentiousness of the note at the beginning of the movie that's like, this is for Zack Snyder's vision. Yeah, so why
Yeah.
didn't you film the movie with an IMAX camera?
Yeah. It's exactly
What?
it. Like,
You made the movie formatted for IMAX, but it's not filmed for IMAX. So how does that make any sense?
it doesn't. Yeah.
If
And
you've ever watched a non-IMAX movie in IMAX, it looks terrible.
yes, it does. I remember at here in Toronto at Ontario Place, they used to have the Cinesphere.
Yeah.
And they were showing, I remember this, we're talking over 20 years ago, they had Starship Troopers on there. And Starship Troopers is not an IMAX film.
Yeah.
And it looked so like it was jarring. I couldn't get used to it. I had to walk out.
I agree. I saw, which, by the way, this was an amazing, this is maybe my best experience ever watching a movie. I went to watch Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Mm-hmm.
And the experience of being in that theater was nothing I've ever had before, like beyond Rocky Horror Picture Show or anything like that. Like,
that's a different experience.
Just people. Every time someone powered up, yeah, and like screaming, people were in the rows, like jumping around, and they're all adults. These are like 40.
Yeah.
But anyways, it looked so bad on IMAX because it was a one night only IMAX playing, and we were like, we have to go see this, but like, it's so forcefully like out of proportion.
Because you could see because it was filmed in I think it's 235 by 1 they filmed it, right? Yeah. So you could see at the edge of the screen, you could see that there's scenes that are missing. Yeah. You can see it at some points.
Yeah, when I watched the Blu-ray of Dragon Ball Super Broly, I was like, wait, how did I didn't see any of this in theaters, all these things that are happening.
Yeah. On the side, especially with something like Dragon Ball, it's like there's something going on everywhere on every corner of the screen, right?
Yeah. So, okay, we went too far on that, but I don't think that was a good idea. I understand that he did it because he thought that that's what he wanted, and I'm okay. It's his movie. Let him do whatever he wants, but it didn't make any sense.
It was overhyped. I think they should have just released it or put it on, like release a special edition Blu-ray of the Snyder cut. I don't think they needed to hype it the way they did. It's a director's cut.
Look, you got an original cut. I understand it's not the way he wanted the movie, but the gist of the original movie we got is basically this movie. Like,
it's still the same story, yeah.
I would say, to me personally, from watching both back to back, like 90% of the other movie is in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest noticeable things were the very end, the Russian family, the mustache stuff, and Batman on the roof.
Yes, they also, I think they reshot that scene where Superman finally returns for the first time and they're doing the whole Justice League fight. That was extended.
Yeah, but I think they already had that footage.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. You could be right. Hold on.
I don't know. Like, I'm not 100% sure. You never know with Zack Snyder, right? Like,
the other computer's doing whatever it wants right now.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, so it's like you don't know what's new and what's already been filmed, what was reshoots. And like you said a while ago too, the $70 million he was given was blown on reshoots, and some of the CG on Cyborg looked janky.
Okay, this is I was gonna start at the beginning, but let's talk about Cyborg. Okay, I think he did a good job with the acting. I mean, people are blowing it out of proportion, like he deserves an Oscar. It wasn't that good, but he was good. He was good. The fleshing out of the character was good. The backstory got better. Like the little nuance to it, but then you had like the mom not good at acting. The dad is horrible. Like every scene that had the dad, I was like, why are you here?
He was bad in T2.
Yeah, he reminds me. That's funny. I never even realized it was that guy.
It's the same actor. Yeah,
it's
the same actor who played the dad. Yeah.
Anyway,
he was bad in that too.
Yeah. What's his name? Miles Dyson.
Miles Dyson. Yeah.
But he's given more in this. He reminded me of the dad, I don't remember his name, but the dad from Fantastic Four, Fan Four Stick.
Yes.
He was so bad. And like every scene he was in, he destroyed the whole moment. And that's how I felt in this. Like every time the dad talked, I was like, oh my God, shut up.
It's taking me out. Yeah.
And then, but like, sorry, just to expand on the Cyborg thing.
Yeah.
I love the building of the reasoning of stuff. But then also at the same time, I had this thing like, and to me, like, take it how you want. Like, I'm a person that could laugh at stupid things. Mm-hmm. The whole time that I was watching, I was like, "Wah, daddy issues. Wah. Your dad literally saved your life. Yeah. Shut up."
Like, you're alive because of him.
Yeah, what are you mad about?
Yeah, like, no, it's true. But then again, then at the end they took his dad away from him, and it really gives you that pathos for Cyborg.
That's when I was like, okay, now I don't mind that they did all that stuff. But like
Yeah.
while it was happening, I was like, oh my god, how much more like little coming of age teen angst can we deal with in this dark superhero movie? Like, this is not the right place.
The buildup wasn't right, but the way they built up to was excellent.
Exactly. But the building of the character worked. It's just the writing of the scenes that did it, and the adding. Like, this is something I complained about a lot with the graphics. So I watch a Corridor Crew. I don't know if you've ever heard of them on YouTube. You guys can check them out if you want. They specialize in like CG animation and stuff like that. So I'm not an expert, but I watch them and I learn things. And so he changed a lot of assets to have different skins or stuff like that, but then didn't change the way things interact with it. So Steppenwolf's armor at the beginning with the Amazons, their hands are like going through his armor because where they were filmed, he didn't have that armor on.
Yes, he had that. It was like a stone armor type of thing in the original cut.
You could see that with a lot of stuff, like Cyborg. When they go into the bank scene, there's things that he's looking at that are not there, and there's things that he's supposed to be looking at that he's not looking at. Because you just added things, and I noticed that a lot. And you can directly see the scenes that were filmed before.
Right.
Okay, so you can see the Joss Whedon cut of Cyborg where he looks complete as a character. Then there's the original cut of Zack Snyder where he looks good, but he still has something wrong. Then there's the additional scenes where it literally looks like someone drew him on the screen with a marker.
Yeah, like it throws your immersion right off. Like, it does. Like, you're supposed to be invested in this film, and then when you see something like that, especially on something with this big of a budget, you would think they would have done a better job.
Which is like for every positive this movie has, it has a negative, and like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, this movie sucks.
It was a good film.
I as a critic, I didn't like it, but as a comic book fan, there's a lot to enjoy here. I just want everyone to know that. But I'm not gonna sit here and not tell you what's wrong with the movie. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah. We're here to break it down. But yeah, no, absolutely.
The additional music.
Yes, they brought Junkie XL back.
I liked a lot of the music. Okay, first of all, the score, the general score. I want to get into deeper detail of this. The general's movie score is very good. It emphasizes so much, especially in those final scenes. But
Wonder Woman's theme is fantastic.
The actual Wonder Woman theme.
Yeah.
Not the
I watched it with subtitles and I saw ancient Amazonian vocalizing.
I was like, what am I watching? Am I watching Black Hawk Down? Like, I didn't understand what was happening. Like, one of those movies where they're in the Middle East and it always keeps playing that. It never stopped. Every single time the screen panned to Wonder Woman, it played that. And I was like, I wanted to rip my ears off.
I know. It's the electric guitar riff. That theme is the one I like.
Yeah, it's amazing. I loved it. So that theme was like, oh my god! Like, I can't even. I was messaging people. I was like, wait till you hear this. And every single person I told were all huge Snyder fans, and they all messaged me back saying, like, I can't believe that happened. Like, how many times can you possibly play that vocal cue?
Yeah, it got, especially at the end where she was seen a lot more, and every time it would cut to her, it would go in. I was like, oh, it got annoying.
It shows Aquaman and then Wonder Woman song. Aquaman, Wonder Woman song. Cyborg, Wonder Woman song. And it's like, bro, it's been only 1 minute and you played the song 10 times. Like,
I would have just
it's not like a continuation of the song.
No, it starts
just the same 5-second riff, like over and over.
Yeah, if anything, they should have just had the Junkie XL theme, just have it play throughout over the whole thing.
No kidding.
The only thing I was a little upset, going back to the musical cues, I would have loved to have little hints of the Danny Elfman Batman theme, which they took out. It was in the original, but they took it out in the Snyder cut.
I would have enjoyed that very much because Batman is the only one who didn't really have a theme, and when they played music for him, it was just kind of like, here's generic drumming.
Track. Yeah, generic track number 4. Yeah. But I mean, that Elfman theme now is iconic with the Keaton movies, the animated series, the Arkham, even in the Arkham games, it's there, right? So it's like,
you could have dropped on the first time you see Superman, you could have dropped like the little drum roll at the beginning of the Superman theme.
The John Williams theme. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would have been epic.
Yeah.
And like, it's just,
they had a great idea. The idea was there.
This is my problem with Snyder that we've talked about before. He has so many good ideas, but he needs to be babysat because he has ADD to like the maximum, and he starts one thing and then just goes to the next. You could see how many things here are unfinished, and you're like, why did you show me that? Because it doesn't go anywhere. It's pointless.
Well, it's like, why'd you add the scenes with Martian Manhunter?
And by the way, he looks so terrible.
Yeah, like the actor is great, but the way the look of I didn't like
it, especially in the ending, like
when
the epilogue.
With
in
Bruce
the
Wayne.
sunlight. Oh, that's the thing too. When I was talking about the changing the assets, like you could see that the light is reflecting off things. Like they added it, like Zack Snyder added it to the armor of like Steppenwolf, right?
Yeah.
But the light's reflecting and the sun's on the other side of him, and you're like, how is this happening?
Yeah, the light's supposed to be reflecting on this way, but it's coming. The sun's on the other side. I saw that.
They were in such a rush to do things. Like you could see it. The Amazon.
That's a good way. Yeah, it felt rushed.
The Amazon part when he's there. Okay, so this is a perfect example. I know we're jumping from things.
Yeah,
we have ADD now too. But the big like. First of all, their like sacred place where they're hiding the thing that needs to be hidden is just wide open on the edge of a cliff. It doesn't like that's where we're hiding things now.
Yeah.
But when it falls and you see all the little puffs of smoke from it and the little bricks falling and the water splashing, that's like the most insane CGI work that you could do. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Then you see the Amazons riding on horses and they're floating above them. They're not even on the horse.
Yeah.
And then the background is like a cartoon drawn on the screen, and Steppenwolf looks like a normal thing running after these little cartoons, and then they fall, and the Amazons actually fall, but then the horse does like a 1080 flip and like flies off the screen.
That's another thing too. They could have done better. Like I know he's infamous for his backgrounds like that, like, but I don't like the way he does. He did it in Sucker Punch. He did it in Watchmen. Every movie he's done, he has that washed out thin back. I call it it looks thin.
It looks 2D.
Yeah. So it looks washed out. So he blurs it so it doesn't look like it's
someone brought this to my attention, okay? And I was like, wow. And this guy is a very big Snyder fan. He says he's like, the thing I hate the most that he does is that you could be filming in a small tiny room, okay? And instead of just filming in a room, he'll CGI the whole room, number one. And then he's like, the number two, he always pans out after and has to show you like some sort of depth of field. So like all of a sudden that little room is like a huge field, and it's like, and like, you don't need to keep showing us big fake
he likes those generated
things. Like we
don't
need
the same thing at the he did the same thing at the beginning with Bruce Wayne on the horse when he's going to go in Iceland when he went to go see Aquaman. You see a close up of Bruce, and then all of a sudden it pans out to this majestic mountainscape, and like that one. I don't know if that one was filmed on location, but that looked better.
Yes, and you could see that they were filming somewhere. But then you can see when they're not. Like, first of all, you can blatantly tell that most of the real buildings in the Superman coming back scene are in Toronto, and that always takes me out of a movie. But then he added so many other buildings. Like, first of all, no skyline in the world is like 5 billion skyscrapers. So
there's also a building that he used in the movie. It's filmed here in Toronto, but then again, there's like a building from the city of Dallas placed in there.
Yeah.
Like there's that rectangular. It was kind of like a slope building
the flat one.
That's in Dallas. That's not even here.
Yeah. And he did that with, there's a lot of buildings. There's a building from I think it's Shanghai or Singapore. Like, and that's fine. But like you like tone it down, man. Like take it easy. You just breathe for a second. It's so over. Okay, so starting at the beginning, I just want to talk about it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Aquaman. The introduction to Aquaman was much better. We got more. I felt more for him. Though I felt like if you watch Aquaman the movie and see how well he handles the character and acts in that movie, this movie his acting is kind of bad. You're kind of like, what's happening? But then he jumps in the water. And then a group of Scandinavian women just start singing. And even Ben Affleck turns around like, what the fuck is happening?
What's going on? Yeah.
And he's like,
he's literally a god to them.
That scene is so Zack Snyder, like ego boosting. Like that's what he lives for. Like I did not need 3 minutes of people singing a song and smelling his clothes. That is so stupid.
That 3-minute scene could have been 30 seconds.
That 3-minute scene could have been 2 seconds of them being like just like doing a prayer or something. They didn't need to sing a song. Like then jump to Flash. Okay, I know we're going.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
Actually, first jump to Wonder Woman.
Yes.
She goes into a cave that's clearly been excavated. It's like a site for
it's on Crete, I believe they said it was.
Yeah, it's like a historical site now where archaeologists have been. Okay.
Yeah.
She walks up to a wall and then opens a wall to a giant room. You're telling me in the 100 years they've had this place,
they didn't notice it?
They didn't notice there was
you
a
know
giant
what I was getting
room?
from
They
that?
have sonar.
I was getting Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
it's like some Assassin's Creed BS that was going on. You have to activate the switch or Tomb Raider or something.
Like you would know from digging out that place for 100 years that there was a room on the other side of that wall. There wasn't just a 50 by 50 room.
Or the fact that it was hollow underneath and nobody noticed that it was hollow.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody noticed that. Like, anyways, to Flash now.
Yeah.
I
like the inclusion. I like the bringing back of Iris.
I like it, but I hate that scene.
It was very similar to Quicksilver's scene in X-Men.
Yes, but this is my thing that I don't like about it. So, and this was going back to the music.
Mm-hmm.
The song that they play is so pretentious. It doesn't fit the scene at all. There's so many moments in this movie where it's a major action scene and it's like a slow slow song.
Even the scene with Aquaman, they were when he's going back to Atlantis.
Yeah.
There's that slow indie pop song or whatever you want to call it.
That's his style, and I understand that, but it doesn't fit the tone of that scene. And people kept telling me it's for emotional purposes. I'm like, the scene wasn't emotional. It wasn't an emotional scene. He didn't even know her at the time, and he pervs out in that moment where he stops and
and he plays with her hair. He plays with her hair.
Yeah, that was a lot of emotion that we just thank God the perv was there to save her life.
Right. I like when he steals the hot dog though.
I loved every scene with him. It's just the scenes that they're in are so poorly written. I loved his quippiness.
I think it's the fact that it's Whedon's and it's Snyder's mixed together, and you don't really know where it's going with his dialogue. And it's kind of when it mixes together, it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't mesh well.
And I loved how this was a big thing. All of those cheesy jokes are not going to be in the Snyder cut. No, literally every single cheesy joke was still in this movie.
But I mean, you need it. Like, the movie would have been way too dark if you didn't have it.
The thing that I don't like, and a lot of people agreed with me on this, is the use of Batman. In the Whedon cut, everyone was complaining that he was too light and that's not Batman. This movie was like the same thing.
He's dark.
He's darker, but he's still too optimistic. Batman doesn't feel like that. And I need you to help me here. Explain to me why in the 5 minutes of knowing him, Batman feels like he owes everything in the world to Superman.
Yeah, considering he was there when they were fighting 5 minutes up until he died in Batman v Superman.
What does he doesn't feel like anything. He owes Superman?
No, he doesn't owe anything, and that's what I don't understand either. They've always been at odds. Like I don't know if you remember the Justice League cartoons. Batman was always there setting up precautions. Should Superman turn, he always had kryptonite something with him. He wore kryptonite in his armor just in case Superman came up to him. Like, he was always preparing for the fact that what if if Superman were to turn one day, he'd kill us all. Right?
Yeah.
So Batman is always apprehensive. That's a good word that I wanted to use. He's apprehensive of Superman. He trusts him, but it's always in the back of his mind that one day this guy's going to turn and kill us.
So someone told me a really good thing, and I just want to get it out there. Shout out to you, guy. But what if you had Batman versus Superman, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The movie ends with Batman killing Superman. That's how Superman dies, okay? So now there's an actual turmoil between them. Superman comes back in the second Batman versus Part 2 or something, let's say.
Right.
Okay? And now Doomsday is a thing because at the end we see a hint that Doomsday is coming from Lex Luthor, okay?
Right.
But Batman catches Luthor, puts him in jail, same thing as the end of BVS. But they don't know that there's a timer set and his assistant is going to bring back Doomsday. So the next movie, Doomsday comes, they try to fight it, they can't beat it, he's destroying the city, they bring Superman back to life this time, he kills Doomsday, but he still doesn't like Batman or Wonder Woman for what happened. So
he still holds a grudge.
Now become Justice League, okay? They go to get Superman to come help them stop this, but he doesn't like them, so they still have that fight scene until Lois stops it, but Batman shows up in the armor, not in the thing, and they actually fight. Not like
in the Dark Knight armor.
That scene was like, I get you're trying to prove how strong Superman is, but you can't as a comic book fan and understanding how it works, you can't bitch out Batman. That
No.
like defeats the purpose of Batman. Like Batman should have showed up like unscared and just went boom and punched Superman in the face or something, you know?
Yeah, like he can't show fear. Like
that and this movie has too much human from Batman, and I don't want
yeah,
that.
he was harping on hope too much. We got to have hope. You got to have faith.
Exactly.
And that's not really Batman. That's not
No.
That's Superman.
Batman is reluctant to even Batman is reluctant to even be part of the Justice League most of the time.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean. A lot of people keep telling me it's because these movies are so comic book accurate.
They're not. This was
they are visually, but I don't think Zack Snyder, even as a fan of reading them, understands what's happening because this is nothing like it. None of the characters are anything like their counterparts in the comic books.
Like, I mean, the only one I could see is a little bit is Barry Allen because he's got that quirkiness to him. He's got his bit of snarky, you know what I mean?
He's also, and you see it a bit more in this than the other version. He's like a super smart guy, like Peter Parker level smart. He's supposed to be like a really, really smart person. He's a scientist.
And they bring it out at the end when he gets into the criminology lab.
Yeah. And you see it in the part where he's talking to Cyborg about what's going to happen with the box.
Yes.
And then everyone else is like, what the hell are these two guys talking about?
Was it Aquaman goes, English for the rest of us, please?
Yeah. And that kind of stuff I like. Like, there's a lot of good in this movie. It's just, there's so many little bad things that add up to a point where it's like, and the first 30 minutes of the Whedon cut, 35, maybe 40 even, let's say, takes 2.5 hours in this movie.
Yeah, it was like it was almost an hour. The whole Aquaman scene at the beginning was almost an hour.
Yeah.
That alone.
And then
it felt rushed. It felt rushed after.
Let me point out things, okay? First of all, Amber Heard, your accent just quit. Second of all, like in this Aquaman movie made more sense. They let her use her own voice. Like,
yeah. What I like though is now that they're tying in this with Aquaman because they brought in Willem Dafoe, and
now it's out of order.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to take place after though.
No, this takes place before.
Before, yeah, that's what I meant. Because then at the end of this, at the end of Justice League, Aquaman says to Willem Dafoe's character, "I'm going to go see my father now," and it's Tamora Morrison he's going to go see, right?
Yeah, but in okay, so first of all, in Aquaman the movie, he has to fight a giant monster to get to the throne. Okay, in this movie, he literally walks into the throne room and sees his, and then Willem Dafoe, who's like good in those little parts, brings him a quindent and says, "Take your mother's trident," and throws it on the floor. It's not even a trident.
Yeah,
and like there's just little things, and because in the Aquaman movie, he hasn't met him since he's been an adult. The last time he was with him was as a kid, and this movie's like, well, no, they met him now, and you're like, how did he meet him?
Yeah, so that doesn't make sense either. That's absolutely. But there's a lot of continuity errors.
Yes, that's a thing. But the fleshing out of those characters, like Wonder Woman, is so much better in this than she was in the other one.
Yeah,
except for Kal-El, no.
Yeah. It's like she's got those that Sofia Vergara accent going.
Yeah. Oh my god. You know what it reminds me of? In Happy Gilmore, when he gets hit by the Volkswagen, and the girl's like, "Happy to counter."
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. My god. But no, like she's and it's such a shame too that Wonder Woman 84 was like it tanked. Because she is such a perfect fit for that role.
And I had fun with that movie as a silly comic book movie, the same kind of way I kind of had fun with Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
They're both like so true to being a comic book movie, but they just don't make any sense.
No, they don't. Like it was like
I would rather watch either one of those than this again though.
Yeah. I like Birds of Prey because they just made like Harley Quinn as a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like absolute psychopath. And like she is a psychopath. It makes sense.
And Huntress is so badass in that movie.
Yeah, she is.
The only thing I didn't really like that they wasted Roman Sionis.
Yeah.
That's his name, because he was so good. Why would you kill him off, man? He was so good.
You could have brought him back into the sequel as Black Mask, or like even have him fit into the Batman universe somehow.
He was so good. And then also they screwed up Cassandra Cain. Like
Yeah.
I was like, huh? Like she doesn't have any powers or anything? Like what's the point of
Yeah,
this?
no, it's that didn't make sense. I like the casting of Rosie Perez as Montoya though.
I like the casting of all of them, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
it was if you go in just with that one, if you're going in to watch a silly comic book movie to waste 2 hours and eat some popcorn, it's perfect.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
Yeah,
back to
but
the
back on
Snyder.
track.
Back to the Snyder.
Speaking of ADD,
Speaking of mutants,
yes. Where is he today?
That's a shout out to Putty.
Shout out to Putty.
That second video was really funny anyways. So
yeah, it was good.
There was another thing that I had a big issue with at the beginning. So like I'm just like, I want to show you. So I just stopped at some point because I'm like, I'm gonna remember this. But in like, not even a lie, the first 40 minutes of the movie, I was like writing down all the problems. That's only the first 40 minutes of the movie. Yeah. And a huge issue I had was the editing is really bad. Like scenes just cut and like they're so choppy.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's like the word I'm going back to. It's jarring. It throws your immersion right off.
There's a lot of things that do that, but
it tells a better story, but it doesn't flow.
They extend out the bank scene at the beginning. Okay, you know what they've added to the scene for people that are not paying attention. 3 minutes of people just walking around. And then Wonder Woman calling a girl a princess. That's what they've added to the scene, which added like 7 minutes to a useless scene. And I'm showing cops outside. They do these upshots where it shows the people walking. Yeah. I'm guessing there was a piece of glass put, and then they walked above it to look like they're filming from underneath them, right? You can see the glass and the light reflecting off the glass.
The thing too I had the issue with was Wonder Woman's supposed to be protecting all these people, and when the guy goes when she puts her arms together and she creates that shockwave, all the rubble that goes flying out. How many cops did she kill there?
Oh, not only that. Question: she was fast enough to block a machine gun shooting an entire clip of bullets, but didn't think that maybe before this guy shoots, I should just run at him and kill him. Because I can clearly move faster than bullets.
Well, so how would she can move faster than that? She could have gone up and bent the gun like she used to do in the TV series. Remember in the TV? Yes, like in the 70s, she would go and bend the gun. That's a big thing that I want to talk about, and I'm glad I just said that because I forgot about it. A lot of the use of these people's and of these heroes, and their powers are done in a way just to be cool and not to make sense. Like there's so many times when it's like, well, couldn't they just do this? Like when the water comes in and Aquaman's there, why wouldn't he be able to stop the water? Isn't that literally what he does? Yeah, and talk to fish.
But they're like, no, we have to let the water finish breaking through because it has to look cool and they have to escape up the wall. Like,
no, it's...
like you couldn't call a whale to clog up the hole or something,
right? Or something, right? I don't know if he wanted to be in Gotham Harbor, but yeah. But no, it's like that. The thing too is, I think with this cut too, he added powers to Wonder Woman. It's in the DC universe, it's Flash and Superman that are the two fastest people on the planet. Yeah. I don't think she's fast, but I don't think she's Flash fast. Yeah, I could be mistaken. She was moving faster than the Flash.
Yeah, at some points. And there's times where you show the extreme speed of the Flash. So during the accident, which I'm going to get something else on that in a second, but during the accident, he moved so fast that he broke through the glass with his sound. He got to the car, everything happened. He did all those things like Quicksilver, but then there's other scenes where even at his highest speeds that he's moving, he's not going anywhere fast. And you're like, how did you just show me he could do that, but he can't do this? Like, that doesn't make sense. He should have been able to run around so fast, take everybody's guns out of their hands.
Yeah, then, exactly. Like what's his name did in WandaVision there when the actor, the little kid who plays Speed, he zips around, steals all their guns, and even steals the guy's hat, right?
Yeah, and
Flash is that fast.
That's what I'm saying. Flash is that fast. And there's also a scene where, okay, sorry, let me finish that first. Yeah. So that truck scene is like the perfect example of why I don't like Zack Snyder. I don't like the way he directs movies, because that is filmed just like a scene in like a comedy. A guy, you show a hamburger, you cut away. You show a guy picking up the hamburger, you cut away. You show a guy eating the hamburger, you cut away. You show the guy dropping the. We don't need. I don't care how.
And then you have the one guy in slow motion going, no.
Yeah, like for me, I would have just had him in the store talking, and then you hear a truck screeching, and then it's about to happen, and he turns around and sees it and saves her. You don't need a reason why the truck. It happens every day in real life. Do you think people see the reason why the car accidents are happening?
No,
anybody cares?
They spent like a minute on the guy trying to grab the hamburger underneath his clutch.
Who drives like this trying to pick? No one would do that in real life.
No, I would have left it
until you stop.
Like it is. It's very much a movie to feed his ego. It really was.
And it's like, I get some of the stuff he did. Like the last hour and a half is so good that it almost completely redeems the entire movie. Once they get together as a unit.
Yeah.
But there's just so much wrong with the first
half. It's the build up to it that was just way too long.
And it was so boring. People keep telling me the pacing is so good. The pacing is not good in this movie.
No.
It's so out of whack. And it's just like, I never want anyone to forget the floating car. I have this picture saved on my phone.
Yes.
There's literally a 2D cutout from like a program of a car just placed in a thing for no reason. And it's just floating above the grass, like, and it makes no sense because it didn't need to be there. There's no cops in it. There's no cops around it. They just put it there because he didn't like that there was empty space in the field.
Empty space, yeah.
Like, and I don't need to see Lois walk around.
But there was that whole scene. Like, I mean, I could have done without the scene where, quote unquote, Martha goes to visit her in the apartment, but it's Martian Manhunter.
Yes, it did.
I could have done without that scene.
This is what I want people to understand too. That scene is literally done for the sole purpose of introducing Martian Manhunter. There's no other reason for that scene. And then you find out introducing Martian Manhunter doesn't mean anything because he doesn't have anything to do with the movie.
I think it's the fact that they wanted to show, look, we told you all along, General Nix was Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, that's exactly
that's
what
basically all it was for. We told you. We told you. It's more of a told you so kind of film.
And then this is another thing, okay? Flash is running at the speed of light around the reactor while this is happening. But somehow he's speaking in such a quiet tone, but Cyborg 5 kilometers away can hear what he's saying.
Yeah. No, the other scene, going back to that scene too, there was a issue I had. If he's going so fast, how is the Spawn able to like perfectly shoot him?
Oh my God. Thank you. I forgot to write that down.
Yeah, that was a big issue I had.
All of a sudden, parademons or whatever they're called, they have superpowers. You shot a guy who we, as people watching it, was literally just a blur. You couldn't even see him.
They showed the really good scene where it's just him over and over again. He's running so fast that it's almost as if he's in the same spot at the whole time. Yeah. So he's going so fast that this parademon had like perfect aim. It's like when you play a game, if you're playing an FPS like Call of Duty and you got an aimbot.
Yeah, it's like you cross-mapped somebody without looking, a no-scope through a building without looking, without a guy that was running. Like, it's not... those things are what bothers me. Like I said, am I going to tell you this movie is terrible? No, because I liked things about it, but realistically, it's not well put together. It does make sense as a story. Even though the story
this is coming from two people who are not Snyder fans.
Yeah, and this story is not good, but it makes sense. And that's what the first movie didn't. The first movie was kind of just like happen thing, like event, finale. And you're like, oh, okay.
It was edited out of order too. It didn't feel right.
Yeah. It feels a lot. It feels better, but it's way too long. And so I want to get to the stupid epilogue.
Yeah.
All of these scenes were allegedly filmed as post-credit scenes for this movie, other movies, future movies, and weren't going to get used, so he just put them all in this. Like, he filmed the Joker scene. That's a reshoot. But that was planned to be at the end of whatever the next movie was going to be.
That was supposed to be at the end of the next Justice League 2, I think.
Yeah, as a post-credit scene or something. Yeah. And he didn't want to waste the scene, so he just filmed it and put it as part of the movie. And that is one of the worst scenes ever in any Justice League or any DCEU movie. Jared Leto is so bad in that scene, and
Yeah,
he
I've
doesn't even
never
act
been
like the other Joker.
no. It's supposed to be the same Joker from Suicide Squad, but it's a different Joker.
Yeah, it's
They don't
completely
explain
different.
where his tattoos go. They don't explain his gold. Like, where are all his
Yeah.
tattoos? If it's the same Joker, where like it
And,
does it.
and then you get more of Mira and her horrible
Oh,
accent. And we are going to get fight for Aquaman. He's still
she
mine.
Cockney.
Yeah, like what happened? Like
Yeah,
underwater people have Cockney accents. Like I don't get it.
It's the salt water in their throats
Yeah.
makes them gargle.
It's like no one else has it except her. But yeah, and
yeah,
then,
Willem Dafoe is just going to be Willem Dafoe. He doesn't give a shit.
It's so fan service because it's like
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. If
do you like Joker? Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's not. It's like because okay, this is the thing too.
Now, by putting in Jared Leto, do you think he was just trolling everybody?
Oh, for sure. Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
Because nobody liked his Joker to the point where they cut him out of the second Suicide. Or sorry, they cut him out of Harley. They cut him out of Harley Quinn completely, right?
This is we got told this. That yes, they did. We got told this that Suicide Squad had a rated R cut that had more Joker, so they released it for us, which was the director's cut. But now all of a sudden there's a director's cut that has all the Joker scenes. So now we're gonna re-release a movie. We're gonna give David Ayer a chance to make another movie like Zack Snyder that we're gonna get that's gonna be 4 hours long. That's just gonna have 3 more minutes of Joker.
Yeah, it's like, and to think too about Suicide Squad, half what you saw in the trailers was cut out of the film.
Yeah, because it was terrible.
Yeah, it was. I remember when they were filming that here too.
The rated R cut is much better.
Yeah,
but it's still not a good movie. And it's the same with this. It's the same with BVS. The rated R cut of BVS is way better, but it's still not good.
No.
And this is much better than the other one. It's still not good. There's those ending scenes, and this is the last thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
The scene with Deathstroke
on
the boat, that is from the post-credits of the rated R version of BVS, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yes, so he just reused it.
He reused the scene, I think. He expanded on it a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Because the Martian Manhunter scene was supposed to be the end credit scene of Justice League, and they never used that. Never used it.
Yeah. So it's basically okay. I got all this left over. Let's mash it into the epilogue, and here it is.
Yeah, and that's how I was like, "What's the point of this?" I'm like, "This doesn't
explain
anything."
Scene, I do like the scene where they're at when they're where they went to go when you went to go see where Lex was in the asylum.
Yeah,
and he's not there. I like that scene. I like.
Yeah.
But they never explain how they got him out though.
That scene made me laugh. The old guy, that's like the security guard. When you see him, like the way they're like, okay, now you got to get excited. It was literally like someone was directing him and he wasn't ready for it. So like the guy's gonna yell, then get excited. So he's just standing there like, yell now, get excited. And he's like, oh, and then they're like, he starts walking away. They're like, no, you gotta run. And then you see him, he like goes from like a walk to a run because it's like someone's like, no, dude, you gotta fucking run.
You gotta be because that guy's maniacal laughing. That killed me. I started laughing so hard at that. But no, that scene was good though, but they didn't explain how he got out though. That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
So you had all this extra time to film, and then there's some things that are still missing from it anyway.
That's what I'm saying. We both kind of agreed on that. A lot of the additions are just to be there. They don't make sense. They don't explain why they're there. They don't explain what's going to happen. It's just there to be there.
Or the extended scene with Lois and Superman at the farm.
Yeah, what?
Another 10 minutes you could have done without.
Every Lois scene is just. This is why there's so much Lois. I promise you this. It's because of the theory of when Flash shows up and he's like, "It's Lois."
Lois
so
is the key.
If we just keep showing you Lois, you're gonna think it has something to do with that. And it's just like, whoa. And it makes me mad because she's the best actor of all the people they have on payroll, and they don't use her at all
properly. They use her, but not properly.
Yeah, not properly.
That's who we're supposed to think it is? Where Superman's holding the charred corpse, that's supposed to be Lois, right?
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's supposed to be Lois.
I would assume it is. I hope.
And then the whole thing with like when he was talking about, but that's the thing. Who kills Lois? We don't know that. Is it Joker? Is it Darkseid? Is it?
I don't think it would be Joker because I don't think Batman would be with Joker at the end if that's what happened. Because
he
wouldn't that
does
make Superman want to come get you more if you're just hanging out with Joker?
with the guy who killed your what? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the father of your child now, because they revealed that at the end of, because Bruce goes, congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, it's like I did the story. Listen,
The
those
pregnancy test. Yeah,
those
it was
stupid stories, especially at the end with Joker, and he's like, "And I killed your son," and then it's like his teeth are all black. No one else's teeth are black, but your teeth are black.
Yeah.
Um,
I just see him with the cigar like Groucho Marx and
yeah, it's like at least he could have done the laugh from the other one, and I would
Yeah.
have been like, okay, at least you're trying to be the same character. Like if he was like and then like he's just like
It sounds like, the guys Ernie and Bert from Sesame Street. Remember they used to laugh? That's what it reminded me
it
of.
literally sounds like a 1930s Chicago gangster, like
Hey.
see,
See, yeah.
gonna get him, see.
Or
Okay.
the newscasters.
We've gone too
New
far.
York, 1943. It was in.
Extra.
That's what it sounded like. You're
Oh
right,
my God.
absolutely. But the thing is, too, like it's setting stuff up that's never going to happen now.
Mhm.
Because of the fact that they're saying that now this one is the canonical version, not the Whedon cut. So, but now if this is canonical and they're rebooting the whole thing again, we're setting up stuff that's not going to happen. Like Joker mentions the fact that now you've created so many timelines. How are you going to mess the next one up? Right?
That was the only good part of that whole thing. I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit, they thought about adding this.
Yeah.
I literally said that out loud to myself. Like, oh, they actually thought about doing this.
Yeah. And then, like I said, and it's like I can still see they're still gonna do an Ezra Miller Flash film, right? That one's still going through.
Yes, he's gonna be the only person that remembers what happens, like Flashpoint.
Okay.
Once he goes through this, because this is supposedly what happens. He's gonna go do the events of Flash time, and then because of the crossing of universes or whatever happens, Ben Affleck gets erased and he gets replaced by Michael Keaton, who no one remembers that Ben Affleck Batman existed except for Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. Okay. That makes sense. I could see that. I like where they're going with that. So the Matt Reeves Batman, the Batman is not going to be part of this extended. Okay.
Which I don't mind. Like,
keep it separate, like they did with Joker.
People kept saying to me, how much more Batman do we need? And when it comes to, like, I'm a DC fan, but I'm not a DC fan to the point where I'm going to sit here and cry all day about this movie that just came out. But Batman, you can give me as much Batman as you want. You can you can make 25 million Batman movies. As long as I'm getting more Batman, I don't care.
You know what I'd even love to see is bring back, what's his name? I forgot the actor's name. He plays Negan in The Walking Dead.
Bring him back as Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, bring him back as Thomas Wayne. 100%. Have him as the Thomas Wayne Batman in the alternate reality.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because, like, I don't know. There's just so much. Batman is the best character. He has the best storylines.
He's human.
Yeah, and his villains are the best. It's like Marvel. All the best stuff comes from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Who is the most human of the characters, even though he has powers.
Yeah, but he's the most empathetic.
Yeah, and I think you could do so much with Batman.
Yeah.
And the new movie looks really good.
Yeah, like I said, you've convinced me now. Like I still see Robert Pattinson as the sparkly vampire.
Yeah,
but I got to get that out of my head and just go with some fresh eyes, because I saw him in Lighthouse, and that was phenomenal.
That's what I'm saying. If you watch the other one I said, Good Time, and then he also has another movie recently that he did. When you see his actual ability to act, it's like okay, I don't care anymore, because like he could do anything. It's like a Christian Bale situation where he was so good as both characters to me. Okay,
he had that separation of Bruce Wayne and Batman,
but his Batman was better than his Bruce Wayne. Okay, Michael Keaton is the best Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Christian Bale to me is the best Batman, and Ben Affleck did both equally the best. I think he handled both the best. It's just in Justice League they gave him nothing to work with.
Yeah, Ben Affleck was perfect for the role. He was just saddled with poor writing and poor scripts, and poor direction.
He really pulled off the Bruce Wayne side.
This was his dream role. This was Affleck's dream gig. Yeah,
and I would have loved to see his actual Batman movie. I think it could have been really good.
They could have adapted the Dark Knight, the Frank Miller's Dark Knight, so well with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and he had the mask. He literally had the physical look to do it, and it would have. Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah, and he's like because he's not young, he's a grizzled. Like he even said in Justice League, he's been doing it for 20 years, right? So it's an older Batman. He's just tired of everybody's shit, basically.
All right. Well, I don't have any more. Do you have any more?
No, I'm done. I'm done as well. Like I said, it told a better story, cut up like it was too dragged on, but I'd watch it. Like I wouldn't watch it again, but if you haven't watched it and you're a fan, definitely watch it. I'd give it maybe a 6.5 out of 10 at best.
Yeah, I would say the farthest I would go, and it's literally just a bias rating, is like a 7, but I'd probably stick more closely to like a 6.5.
Yeah.
It falls into the middle of the pack, the middle lower pack of DC movies for me. It's if you're a fan of Snyder or his other movies, if whether you like him or not.
If you liked Watchmen, watch this.
Yes, this is like it's him trying to relive Watchmen, but he'll never do that again.
No.
And that was just good source material, but it's worth a watch if you like those things. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it. And for like collectors, it's definitely buy worthy. I would like to own a physical copy, but
if the physical copy had both the 4x3 and the original cinematic widescreen.
I want a widescreen version.
Yeah,
because I don't want to watch it again like that.
No, but
what's the point of having 60 inches if you can only use 30 of them?
30 of it, right? Yeah. But yeah, other than that, like I said, if you haven't watched it or if you're a fan of the source material, go watch it. But other than that, the other thing I want to add is watch it all in one go, because if you start watching it and stop, you're not going to go back to it, because if you can get past that first hour, just go.
Yeah, that's what I kept saying too. The second half is so much better than the first half that it's like you will not want to ever have to watch the first half again. Like if I rewatch this, I will probably start it halfway
at chapter 2 or chapter 3.
Yeah,
I'd watch the Aquaman bit and then fast forward.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, check it out if you want. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you think. Whatever.
Yeah,
whatever. His stuff will be in the comments.
Yeah,
and bio. Peace out.
Excellent.